So I went ahead and I sent my message out to Aaron Curry. He's the current next generation head and organizational leader or administrative figure for Training Mode Network. The head TO. So I went ahead and I sent in my general proposal. Like so. So I want to take time to introduce myself. This is me. Saw the bill in TMNT about more volunteer help that was coming through for TMNT Neo. Potentially. Wish your staff good luck. I had wanted to ask about the inclusion of Dragon Ball Fighters on PC. I know it used to be hosted under the original administration, and it was removed last generation due to lack of support in the community at the time and demand, like it was lack of supply and demand. If it's possible, if I help with enough promotion or advertisement, could Dragon Ball Fighters be added into the inactive listings? I have been pushing bit by bit for the scene's revival at the beginning intermediate level since there's already enough support at the advanced level. Just a starting point for the hardest point of building these things is hard. So I want to help whoever you find or that might volunteer. I'd offer it myself with responsibilities, but can't. I have my hands tied to other things and my own brand that I couldn't take on that responsibility. Now, I want to highlight this. I sent this Monday, February 16th is when I originally sent that. Today is the 26th, about to be the 27th. It's been a week and some change. Now we're gonna go over to Training Mode Network. Because since then, when they first did that, they did this whole process here for opening. And he's made several other posts since then, alongside the other administrative authorities in Training Mode Network Neo. So I think he's honestly seen it, in my honest opinion. I think he just doesn't care to really answer back, or he just thinks I'm not really worth answering back to some reason or some extent, in order to respectfully answer my question or just have clarification for this. So let's say we go into Training Mode Network's volunteer form, because since with someone else leaving, this is what it looks like now for the general volunteer form. So if you want to help with by being either a stream runner or a commentator or bracket runner, one of those three, this is the form for you, even if you have no experience. Our team of lead organizers are more than willing to help you learn how to perform at any of the roles that are in the backbone of a fantastic net play bracket experience. Like how you tried to glorify that. Not that there's anything bad with that, it's just an interesting thing to note. So the roles that they have here: commentary, stream runner, the backup streamer, so you're not the main one, but you're the guy. If they can't get the first dude, you're the second dude. Being the bracket runner, and then being the game lead. So this role is the most important out of everyone here. You will be in charge of promotion, organization, and running a game in our bi-weekly lineup. Effectively, this is your game to run under a wider umbrella, and you are expected to be the primary go-to guy at all times for your game. Yes, you are the ride or die, the end-all be-all for this title. You have to have the actual accountability to be the one doing this on a bi-weekly basis. We're not human and recognize things may come up. This is the role that requires the most scrutiny and involvement from Training Mode Network organizers, and we do ask for some experience heading into this. Generally, game leads also act as streamers for their game, so you may be expected to perform that role with the same requirements as the stream backup role. Games you're looking forward to help out with our games. So they got Guilty Gear, that's already there. Virtual Fighter, Blaze Blue, Grand Blue, Guilty Gear twice, by the way. Persona Ultimax, Under Night 2, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, DNF Duel currently inactive, Melty Blood Type Lumina currently inactive, Guilty Gear Plus R currently inactive, Melty Blood Actress again currently inactive. So that's four currently inactive titles for Chain Mode Network Neo, which explains why Neo has felt so kind of lackluster, because there hasn't been anybody new for hosting those games in any of these things. But oh no. Notify. Oh, shit. Blue. I'll be stepping down from TO duties for the foreseeable future after tomorrow's Rebirth Revive. The Undernight. A few of the other organizers have offered to keep things running in the short term, and I'll be on standby to help with the transition. Thanks to all of my fellow TMN staff for all their help, past and present. And thank you, TMN Uni players, for the privilege of serving you over this last year and change. Damn. They're losing another one. So that means Under Night 2 is going to be going into inactivity soon, which means that's going to be 5 titles that they got to book something for. I would like to thank Vicarious for his dedication, hard work running Eunice for TMN Neo. He's been a consistent, hardworking, and above all else, loving individual to work with. At this time, we'll have some folks helping out with Eunice, but Eunice will be requiring a new game lead to take over. If this interests you, please be sure to use volunteer form and let us know. I've been waylaid by being sick as a dog this week, but we'll start reaching out to folks soon. Okay, I'll take into consideration that he's been sick, but at the same time, I'm also going to be a little scrutinous in my observation here, because this he posted yesterday on Thursday, February 26th. And I sent my original post to him. Same dude, same cat dude. I sent this to him literally like 12 days ago. So between now, I don't know when people get sick at different times. So at the middle of this month to the near end of this month, I hadn't heard anything from him. So I'm starting to think he really did see it and just did not care to answer me about the question. Or maybe he really did just get sick a few days into it and then didn't check his messages or didn't check his personal DMs and all that shit, and then he's just kind of out for the count right now. One of those two realities is like the main reality here that I'm not grasping, or I don't fully understand on why him or another administrator couldn't just respectfully answer me, and then I can try to continue on my way in order to help some stuff going on here for these scenes. Alright, well, on a lighter note, so midway into this month, this has been a rather unique revelation. So going over here in Jaden's chat for Blaze Blue Central Fiction and Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, and even some Persona Ultimax. There's a lot of Persona Ultimaxers out there in the Blaze Blue scene. There's a lot of Blaze babies that know where their music comes from. So here, Sven Nerd, Jaden Sven, he's the large and in charge guy. He's the head honcho. He's the honcho daddy here at Jaden's OFGC and Gaming Inc. So here for the next layer of his RKG, which I think is what's it called? This I can't remember the name. Top 5 selection. It'll come back to me later on. What Rebel King's Tower? That was it. Rebel King's Tower. And so he wanted to go on ahead, and as promised, he'll keep up his side of the deal in creating Dragon Ball Fighters PC, and has been giving a slot in order to point some Z Warriors his way alongside bigger fish. Wherever you're hiding the PS4 UNI2 piece, peep them my way and show them some love. As for the rest of you, I expect you to be doing your part as well as make your 3 another fun run. That's the hard part. This is the thing I'm trying to figure out, because I wasn't certain. Like, this is the thing. I pitched him the idea of potentially opening a Dragon Ball Fighter scene last year. And then while sorting out the bullshit from my own scene and getting people to be interested or invested in other scenes aside from their own, or just to be aware of extra shit going on around them, you know? I couldn't get that for the longest time, and so I decided to just take it off the table and leave it there. Now, with this here going in this direction, I want this to happen, but this has been difficult wanting to be happy for this, because I know my people and I know my kind, which is why I'm grateful that at the very least there's people that heard my case. I need to find a lot of the lower rank or mid rank or lesser seen players all collectively in order to really try and get this idea to take off. I want to get my own players for the high level and stuff, but it's not going to have top level presentation here. It doesn't have to be top level Dragon Ball. It just has to just be Dragon Ball in general that can then cultivate itself into peak Dragon Ball here for the scene. The key thing here is how many people that are going to be involved with doing this. So I made this not that long ago, on like the 25th. No, it was the 16th. I made this like a few days later when I was able to get a break through February in order to continue and consistently make this. And so I made the general promotion. I made the bill myself, because he has his own billing for how this is supposed to look. But I made one specifically for him. That way it can have more of an eye candy approach to it in order to draw people in respectfully that also would like something to do with this. Same thing I roasted here was, okay, hey, a new potential scene is coming to Dragon Ball FighterZ. This is hosted by Jaden, Sven, and the OFC. This is WRR Dragon Ball PC number 1. This is the very first one. Because the following is deciding to listen to me after I kind of psyched myself out and decided, okay, you know what, I was going to back out the idea. But the following wants to try this and give it a shot, at least one. So I don't want this to fuck up. I need this to succeed so people can see that people care. I want them to share. I got them to reshare. I don't want people to just like this thing. I need them to be out there retweeting this, so that way there can be more people that come through. They can help with this thing. They can help jumpstart a newer Dragon Ball Fighter scene and people wanting to take interest to play. That way it's not just NeoJudai hosting or KLB hosting or myself. There can be other people in the pool. That way it's not just us. We're still going to be at the pinnacle of this, but there needs to be other people. That way the responsibility solely doesn't fall on us. There needs to be options in the pool, abundantly or respectfully seen, in order to have diversity and respectively separate representation for different aspects in the scene. Different players attract different players. Different hosts have completely different scenes from one another. Each one almost has its own type of people that go there, unless you're the few people that go to every one, because game is game. Like, I was dead serious originally on trying to get this aloft, then I didn't really want to. Now that there's an opportunity here, I do respectfully want this to take off. I have this in like numerous different discords in order to try and get this going off, and I'm trying to apply all my contacts as much as possible to keep this aloft or get it aloft. Right now it's just Vomit Kisser, Galax, and myself. I want this to take off because I really want to try and win this shit, so that way I can set the example. I can be a champion somewhere else in the algorithm for once. And it'll be on home game, so I can kind of be content with the fact that, okay, I at least won one Dragon Ball FighterZ bracket somewhere in the algorithm. It just took so damn long for it to finally happen, because the scene is just ass sometimes. The scene is just an asshole about who they want to support or who they want to push, when other people are literally taking the time to show you, hey, I might give this a chance. Like, shit needs to change. And I'm hoping that there can be a sense of advocacy for this type of change. So I have this here. I have this in Midas's server. I'm also going to get ready to meet with the people over here in this dead server here for the tournament organized, which was supposed to be for organizations. I'm going to go ahead and just talk to him in a few minutes and get this going here with Crispy Tree. He used to be the TO for Frame Perfect, and get that up and going. So meet up on my end. I probably might be disappointed, but I still want to take the time to reach out and see where that shit goes anyways. You never know till you try, even though I may already know anyways, but play along and see what happens. Otherwise, I am no different than the hypocrisy that I am trying to constantly call out, or be better than, or to show you this is what there is hereof. What else was there I was going to show you? I put it also in self-promo over here, over in Dragon Ball FighterZ Core. I put it over in my core. I put it over in the Dragon Deities. I put it over in Chapman Discord. I believe I did. I did not. Hang on. Let me copy and paste that. I can correct that right now. Alright, it's in self-promotion. Here we go. I had it over in Midas's Discord if I can get to Midas. It's over in the Key Cookout Arena. I made a whole thing here about a new scene in the works in order to get that up and going. So that way people that are over here, that for the small percentage of them that do have a PC or in the PC neighborhood, you can come in too, or you can also, share this shit, so that way it helps with regaining or gaining common interest, because that's the main thing. Keep this aloft, put it in the comic crew. I got Joe Rod interested in this for the most part. Joe Rod's a pretty known dude up in New York once upon a time. He doesn't live in New York anymore. There's something else here. Why student is still up, but okay. And I'm just hoping this takes off. I really, really am, because it's been a frustrating few days trying to get more than 3 people signed up for this, because I'm just scared that people are either going to sign up at the last second and it's not going to matter, or nobody's gonna do this shit. And it's just so dog shit. Because I want this to work. I need it to work. But I just don't feel like the people are gonna support this because it's him. But then if someone else favorable, or they feel it who isn't worthy, is gonna just set up and do this shit, like they're ignorant as fuck hosting this shit, or they don't seem to be a logical person or a reasonable person, they're gonna go support this fucker instead of supporting this guy here that's trying to do something palatable and representable for the scene. It's like some law of magnetism bullshit, but I guess it would be validated. It's just you're talking about someone that has a bit of I'm talking about someone that has a bit of experience with TOing, that's wanting to give this one shot at the very least to see if people are interested, versus they're probably looking to give somebody else a chance here that hasn't TO'd a day in their life, and it's just going to create problems that they can steamroll. Okay, main thing I was able to point out here, also put it in here, there's a small victory over in training mode network. So as I talked about over here, I struck gold for us. A new scene opens up potentially for Dragon Ball fighters. I added the whole the role. I had finally convinced one of my friends, he's the WRR owner, Sven, to host at least one NA bracket for PC. He's only going to try one to see if there's anybody really interested in him hosting for it. I'm helping him with the legwork here, so let's please grow and fill up signs to create a great turnout and very good first impression. If there's any issues, by all means let me know and I can try to help get you right. I'll be creating a new event series myself alongside the Iacon brand you already know, but I'll keep you posted as I go right now. First things first, and that's helping Jaden get lift off for this. It's my boy Badmans. It's helping me out with this. That's very satisfying. There's this one here that honestly didn't really do shit to really help me push this in a direction. Is surprised that this is going in a direction. No bullshit. Like, I'm not fucking with you. I said that I wanted to do this, and this is exactly what's happening. I just don't want the scene to make me into a liar, is my only problem with this. Because I'm finally content that, okay, hey, the person that said that this shit's not dead, or that this shit is dead, I'm showing you it's not dead, and you're surprised. Yeah, even the two administrators here that were there, that are in support of Dragon Ball fighters, they went on ahead and liked this instantly. Now, if I can get them to share this, that would be amazing. HornofJudah Priest, I remember you. So those of you guys are interested, so I'm going to go ahead and respond to him while I'm here. So those of you guys that remember, HornofJudah here is a content maker and a professional. He used to be a professional Mortal Kombat player, and he's also a top demon slayer. He plays I'm trying to think. It's not an angel demon, but it's that dude with the bomb, the things on his back that kind of perform a whole lot of lightning shit or something. Lightning and agricultural stuff. But he plays at a really high level for that game and for Mortal Kombat. So I'm reading what it is that he has here between his portfolio. I'm surprised why he sent this to me. So with this thing here about being a professional graphic designer and gamer, he saw that I posted a tournament event for Jaden. I wanted to know if you can get in contact with him for me, and I'll make a sick Dragon Ball Fighters design if he wants. Here's my portfolio. Now, I am a little dubious about how I want to feel about this, because where the fuck do you get off messaging me about this shit right after I post the bill for this dude in order to help him out in making this shit? You could have done the same thing. Like, I just disagree with his timing to opportunity here in this lane. Is like a small background problem for me. It feels like Judas is like trying to seize a good chance to house another clientele after somebody else, me, got the push for an idea he could have just been done with himself at the beginning if he just reached out to Jaden Sven in his server, which he's not in, or in like servers, which he is in, or on the algorithm, which he is in, but you don't see him because the algorithm is so fucking polarizing about who it does and doesn't want to push when you're using hashtags. Because it rubs me the wrong way, in fact, that I went through all that trouble in order to make Sven like a really great thing here for his banner outline, and then he's just wanted to go ahead and send this to me. Okay, I could probably make him something better than that. Then why didn't you just do that shit? Like, it feels somewhat tilting, and it's kind of disrespectful to me personally. But that's just how I personally feel in terms of like how I assess his business proposition, but more so the timing of his business proposition. That's what kind of pisses me off, is the timing. Yeah, Broski does a lot of good shit here. A lot of seriously good shit. It just doesn't stop how I feel, where despite looking at something really pretty, he can kind of fuck off somewhere. But some really beautiful art here. All right. I think going here into the next chapter, I'm trying to figure out how I'm writing here accordingly. So I went over to the new players chat. It's the corresponding chat text over here in the official Dragon Ball server for a lot of the newcomers or the fresh starters or beginners. And it's also decently like early established players too. So this was the thing I pitched to them. So like as you can see, so hey chat's Rodimus here. I had a question, which was kind of a thought. So for some of our newer, the early established or decent players out here in the community, wanted to see how they would feel about a tournament. The beginner intermediate focused one allows you guys to get your feet wet about playing the events. Those uncertain or on the rocks about playing in general can also try it out in the inclusion and get a feel for the competition. Also helps to gauge where you're at in the comp pool. Key thing here was to try and have this be its own thing, but I'm thinking I will have it be its own thing and be like a pivot of the Iacon battle circuit. I just have to think of a name, and so I'm going to try and use Chat BTP in order to help me figure out like a more accurate name for this. So the first dude that came up to me that said that he would be interested is this dude here. He's a Videl and a Kefla player. His name is Gone. I'm not discriminatory about however many hours you have in the game. It's just a facet of just transparency, and let me know if you're interested. Even though I don't think this game can be said to have an average when they usually player count is on. Yeah, right here, that's the average player is comparing yourself to the average general Dragon Ball player, not to like the highest example. There's not really that many of them. And then the other one I had was this Please Don't Beat Me dude. His name is called Jumping Beans. He's a adult Gohan and a Goku player. Interesting bit of a troublemaker, but he gets himself in some intriguing doodads. He only got like 30 hours on PC. Until I used to play fighters on a different system doesn't mean I ain't here. Just because I was married for years doesn't mean I'm not a virgin. Interesting. You haven't played at any point though. Gay, but Yes. Yeah, and then I went on ahead and I cleared this up with Gone, that I would definitely like to have him. And then later on, after I met Please Don't Beat Me, there was another person I met. I'm trying to take a look down here. Yeah, I met Crimson Wu. He's another one of the instructors and the coaches in here, like me. Although he is actually like a full-time coach. I'm a part-time coach here in the official server. He's a full-time coach. His name is called Sallow or Crimson. He's on Mag Copium. But that's my boy right here. The more I've been talking with him, the more I really like talking with him. He's a really nice dude to talk with. Really humble dude. And then we're talking about patty cakes. I'm still sitting here trying to assemble some of the people that were here in the new player chat room. I know he wants to hurry up and try and just get into the tournament, which I respect the hustle 100%. But Rome wasn't built in the day, and unfortunately neither is a early level based tournament for a community that has to gradually be transparent about these things here. Actually, you know what? While I'm here, let me hang on. Got an idea a way I can put this also on Twitter, and I can get that up and going. Me. Yeah, that'll work. Don't gotta be nothing special, but that'll work. Now I gotta scroll back down to where I was at. That way I can show you guys where I'm at now, what I was working on. So we got to about here, and then I also got myself introduced to November, which is this one. Damn, she left the server. Hang on. That's gonna kind of compromise it, but we'll see where that goes. Keep going here. I put my stuff down here, and then he also agreed. Crimson also agreed to help get the newer players, either regular and also get the newer LGBT players also interested. Because I have a total of 3 pending 4 people, I think, that are generally interested for this so far. Which that works for me. That's a heck of a lot more than I thought I was going to get going into this so far. So I'm halfway there. I just want 8. If I can get 8, I'll run it literally just like that. Because it doesn't have to be anything special. It just has to be enough to have a general size bracket. And then players can play and do however it is they see fit. Again, easier said than done, but we're getting it here. I know November was putting herself down because she didn't think that she's really good. Lilac is her friend here, I believe, so I'm gonna probably also need to get in contact with her and see if she was also interested, because I don't think I had declared hang on, let me check while I'm actually going through. That way I actually can just figure that out instead of assuming. Said you did wanna be a part. See, or because I think this will work for the most part. That way it'll just get like a general idea. And then I can get an idea about that later. And that's where Lilac and November had that. I looked at that match earlier. I don't think there's anything really wrong for it. Moist Garfield, I fought him in the regular general PC chat. So yeah, he is excluded from the event. He's a pretty ample sized dude in here because he has his own hours in the game. He has a pretty good chunk for 2K hours. He's got less than me, but he's got a pretty ignorant team. So it kind of compensates. And now the game is not really a lot of players, so people might fight you more, but I don't know what the region you're in. Power of EU players doing what they do. Yeah, I'm still stuck at 4 players. And then I also asked Crimson here to help with navigating any more newer players or nuanced players to me. That way it can also help kind of grow the base number rate for this event and what I want to try and do with it. That way I can at least get one. Even if it's not much, at least want to try and see if I can get one. It's impossible to... Oh, I can help with that, because the key thing with that is like synergy. You have to do a synergy with how you're playing the character. That's all. You didn't click it fast enough. There's something else that I was looking at here. I gotta see if I can find it. I used to play a bunch on PS4, but it's been years. I cranked the game up a ton. I can check. So then you're not new. And now you're so dog shit, you have to stop noobs. I do against people that are better than me. Then why have I only ever seen you here? It's just the way it works. Okay, that's the contrast here, because if he is adequate to decent, then there's a contrast to who's good or where the skill gap is in terms of like how competent are you versus like how much further that you still have to go up the ladder to really learn the game more competently instead of probably just smashing, or you're just doing the same shit and probably being punished for it. I still never really figured out exactly what his shtick is. I got to actually play him more and figure it out. I just know basic combos and how to block out here constantly lying. Fruit Peak, how bro reacted so fast. He on one for real. Is anyone who's actually new want to play? He ain't new. You don't want them problems. I want them problems always, bro. I just fought this guy. His connection was so bad. Oh wait. Oh, this dude came in with problems. You were someone who actually beat my boots. If I had to say something, someone was like, my skill level is data, and it's pretty strong. This person's name, I'm sorry, but I don't remember. This is their name. Bruh. 18's armpit sniffer. Okay, but I got a pretty decent thing here. But anyway, the dog will give me an idea of anything else that's going on here. I have 500 hours, but I would be, if I'm still bad. Yeah, so Lilac I think is another one I can definitely go ahead and I can pop on the bill as a possibility. And I can put that in here because that should make it about 5 in general. Because 500 hours is still pretty good. That still fits into this general assessment for people that are new or at least decently established. You don't have to have like 1,000 hours plus in order to be effective or to be viable for this. The key thing is that you're not an expert or you don't have like dozens and dozens of hours and you're just bad. Otherwise, I could just help you with that in the bigger tournaments. And that was something else that I said for it was type of character assessment in terms of like how to deal with matchup disadvantages and cues. All right, last but not least here seems to be this update from NeoJudai that I'm getting ready to try and delve into. I find it interesting though that it took him a good amount of time in order to sit and write this up. I was wanting to try to talk to him about how to solve this whole pipeline issue with Dragon Ball Fighters and trying to figure out how we can come together to work out a strategic approach to getting newcomers on board with the project, but he took the time instead here to delve more into the EVO award stuff that was going on here with the community in terms of him getting his flowers, or debatably getting his flowers, with all the stuff from the mass public voting from, what was it, last month before. It was around the time of the awards last year, for those of you guys that do or don't recall, when him and others were a part of the main nominees for Best Online Series from the EVO Awards, between La Gemma, Paragon, Breakout Series, Motivation Academy, and Tampa Never Sleeps. That ended up being along the main 5 that were voted for. I had Iacon Battle Circuit as a shoe-in also, with a couple other names that were up there also, and I was able to beat those out, but I wasn't able to get anywhere on the main ticket here to at least get the nomination. And again, as like I said, from then I was perfectly fine with that, because I'm happy with the fact that at least somebody that I know got the nomination in general for EVO. So I'll take a quick highlight to what it is that he was talking about here, and then I'll go back to trying to figure out how to better address this issue with Training Mode Network and with the official Dragon Ball Reddit Discord, in terms of trying to think of a base outline, or at the very least getting more newer players involved with the matches. So now the EVO award nomination voting wrapped up, just wanted to update you guys and say my thoughts on some things. First off, I want to thank everyone for voting for Motivation Academy for the EVO Awards. Just being nominated is already a huge honor, and it's a special feeling knowing that so many people enjoy the tournaments I host and run. I appreciate all of you so much. With that being said, I want to let you know that Street Fighter, NAEU, Dragon Ball, NAEU, and TXKL will be the mainstay lineup until the release of Marvel TOCON in August. I plan on hosting that game as well, but just need to find a day to do it. Speaking of being a TO, for a while it has felt like there has been little to none appreciation for the hard work that I do for the community, both hosting, MA, and other TO work I do. And I have felt this way for a while. It also feels like players don't respect the TOs of the tournaments they host either. Someone's told me that their connection isn't good to join said tournament. They changed the location and then suddenly started a profile, told that their location isn't showed. Again, they switched their location on Start GG. Told that their location is allowed. Again, they switched locations. Start GG. Told that their multi-bracketing is allowed. They do it anyway, forgetting that anyone can click their Start GG profile and see what other tournaments they're in. And then to make it worse, they lie about it too. Just feeling like the rules are never respected and people's time aren't respected. I've tried to do everything possible to make Motivation Academy the best tournament I can make it. But always looking in servers and seeing that people don't join because it takes too long, or because the matcherino isn't to the player's liking, is always so deflating. I can't always donate to every matcherino because I work a 9 to 5 and pay rent and bills like everyone else, but I always try to support my community whenever I am too. Just seems that everything is extra tiring lately. I don't want to quit being a TO, and I don't think I ever will, because I love doing what I do. But it feels like my best is never good enough. And I always will give it my 110%. Trust me, trying to balance a 9 to 5 TO work, being a competitor, and going out with friends is just very hard, especially when you're judged for doing said TO work instead of going to hang out and do whatever with your homies. Definitely have been a lot of nights where lack of sleep and lack of eating or waiting late to eat has happened. I have been better about it lately, and they still happen. I just hope that one day the appreciation is there and that everyone will be happy with the work I do, or that I am able to hang out when I can. I try my best for those around me and will continue to do so. For those that always support the Motivation Academy and me in general, I thank you, and I hope that I will continue to get supported. As long as I am around, DBFZ will never die, and Street Fighter 6 Motivation Academies will always happen. I see you all at Combo Breaker. Be good to each other. Yeah, and then I had my thing up here was it Vanity XOXO had her thing over here that she put in. Your hard work doesn't go unnoticed. You can definitely find a way to balance the work for you with a 9 to 5 and wanting to hang out with friends. Cut back a little. Can't begin to imagine the amount of shit you have to deal with on a weekly basis. You're the GOAT for real. GOAT, appreciate you. Appreciate all your hard work. Keeping Motivation Academy consistent and nicely ran. Pretty sure I know who you're talking about for some of those. Everyone knows who they are. That's how many times and how many tournaments they've been in and have done it. Yeah. Ever since I got that DM you telling me about MA, I've always appreciated the work you've done and do and your dedication to making MA the best it can possibly be. Comes with the feeling of respect being lacked and the feeling of not pleasing people. So it sounds like everybody here kind of gets the idea in terms of trying to give him his flowers and there's a lot of his hard work. And I respect him for what he's done here. I just didn't need to say all this shit here because what I said was just an okay hand. As long as he can understand. I've done this same song and dance, but hey, as long as it's on a bigger name, it's all about who is receiving the message and who's relaying the message. The main thing here. So as long as people get the idea to respect your TOs, then okay, cool. It'll help this shit along. The main thing he needs to have is just have a system that works for him and people around him that give a damn to help him or to help with the vision he seeks to concrete for a lot of these scenes. There's a lot of other people that can also have the same type of song and dance to it, but we got to try and make those pushes along in order to help bring them to the light and to the dance also of the same sense of equality. Here's hoping that Neo does get this, though. He does good work for this community, and I hope that he does get it over Tampa and Paragon. It's gonna be a doozy to get over, but I see it happening.
Mother.